doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, like most of my notes are not for anyone else's,
Right.
For anyone else's use. Like I hear about something that's interesting to me and I think about, okay, I want to learn more about this, whatever it is. And then sometimes those things work their way into things I'm doing because the universe seems to work in that way. But I rarely am learning something with the idea of using it. I learn things with the idea of, this is what I want to know. This is what's interesting to me. And then often those things that are interesting to me can find their way into other projects just because they do.
Mm-hmm.
All I've ever tried to make was something I like or something that I felt like was missing as a fan that I wanted, and nobody was making it, so I'll make it, but it wasn't. It was always in the service of, I love this thing. I want something like this. No one else is making one. I have to make one. Understanding how you feel in the face of other voices without second guessing yourself is probably the single most important thing to practice as an artist, or skill set to develop as an artist, is to know how you feel and own your feelings. And the key to that is not, I know, so I know what's right for you. It doesn't work that way. It's just, I know from me. And the reason I chose to be an artist is to demonstrate, this is how I see it. If I'm undermining my taste for some commercial idea, or it defeats the whole purpose of doing this. That's not what this process is about. This process is, I'm doing me and I'm showing you who I am, and you can like it or not, but either way, this is still how I see it. Coming up with a story with the purpose of pleasing someone else is a skill set, but it's more of a commercial endeavor than an artistic endeavor.
It's like tactical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're paying attention, the thing that you are looking for is being either whispered or screamed at you in the outside world if you're paying attention. Yes, I think there are clues everywhere. If we pay attention, we'll hear a phrase, it'll trigger a thought, we'll see something unexpected. If someone recommends something to you, maybe it's a coincidence. If 3 people recommend the same thing to you, maybe it's not. Who knows? Who knows? I do believe the universe is on the side of creativity, and the universe is supporting things to happen, and they can happen through you or they could happen through someone else. So if you're paying attention, maybe it'll happen through you. What we believe has power. If we believe we can make something great, the chances of us making something great are better than if we don't believe we can. So I would say any ability to harness your belief on your behalf is a really healthy thing to do. Self-doubt it's a check on yourself. It can either be really helpful or it can undermine you. So it's something we all have. And if we let it undermine us, then we don't make anything, and that's not good. But when used as a balancing tool in our lives, it serves a great function where we really do. It's okay to have all the confidence in the world and still second guess, is this the best it can be? You can doubt, I think the phrase is in the book, you can doubt your way to a great work, to a masterpiece. Sometimes that questioning allows you to push further than just accepting, I made it, so it's good. Yeah. When something works, it's easy to be fooled into believing that's the way to do it, or that's the right way. It's just a way, and it's just a way that happened to work that time. sometimes more choices is not better. So limiting your palette to something manageable forces you to solve problems in a different way. There's the light and the shadow always. There's always another side for everything. And we focus on one aspect, but if we look at the other aspect, chances are we'll learn something too. Mm-hmm. It's so obvious. And I think another superpower of artists is this accepting we don't know anything. When we think we know things, that also limits our world. We think we know. It's only like this. This is all that's possible. We're mice in this little box. But in reality, who's to say that's the case? Who's to say we could take all of the what we believe in science now and decide to throw all of that away and start from scratch. And we'd probably create a whole different one. We don't know anything. It's all, if someone has an idea and it sounds interesting to you, try it. And if it doesn't work, it's okay, and try something else. It's like,
you're an empiricist.
Yeah, whatever works. And if something seems interesting to you and you're excited by it, why not try it? I try very fringy things. I like, in some ways, the more unrealistic it seems, the more interesting it is to me, because I feel like that's getting closer to something that somebody doesn't want me to know, When I engage in a particular project, whatever it is, I dedicate all of myself for that period of time, whatever it is, whether it be 20 minutes or whether it be 5 hours, whatever it is, total focus and no outside distraction whatsoever. And when I leave that process, I do my best not to think about it when I'm away from it. I don't bring any materials with me. I don't leave the studio with works in progress and spend time listening to them during the day or looking for ideas. I stay as far away from it when I'm not directly engaging in it as possible. And in the best of situations, I have something else to totally engage myself in between. So instead of working on project A for 5 hours and then leaving and doing nothing, I'm hoping to engage in a project B or B, C, and D with all of myself before going back to project A again, which might be the next day, let's say. There's a good feeling. There's usually a good feeling when something is done. On the one hand, it's a commitment, because up until the time that you say it's done, you can keep experimenting and changing it. If you think, well, maybe tomorrow I can make it better, then it's not finished. And you keep thinking that for a long time, you can do that forever and never put out anything. So getting to the point where you're ready to sign off is a good feeling. And it allows you, one of the things I talk about in the book is, because it is a difficult thing to do, because it's fun to play and it's fun to, maybe it's not the best it could be yet, to use whatever the next project is going to be as motivation to finish the one you're working on now. Like, I'm working on this, I'm spending all of my time on this thing. It's really good. I believe it can be better, but there's this other thing that I really want to make. And if I keep tinkering with this one, I'll never get to make the other one. So using other projects as a impetus to finish something and release it into the world is a good one. And you said your description of source as something within us. I don't know if I would say that was accurate. It's definitely in us too, but it's not only in us. And it's, I think of source as the organizing principle of everything. And it's how everything exists, how the trees grow and why there are mountains and anything that we can see in the outside world, and every discovery and every piece of art and every new design and every machine are all outgrowths of this source energy. Our part of it is the antenna that like connects to it. And maybe we're the vehicle for source to allow things to happen in the world.